Just completed day 4, and you go through spring practice. You look to improve each and every day, and that's what it's all about. And on Saturday, I just thought that we just came out and kind of went through the motion, and then you go through the weekend with Monday, got a little better, and even today, just going through goal line and short yardage and putting the ball in the red zone. Something just let them play. Had a few scrimmage snaps. Offensively did very well. Defensively like to see us tackle better and not give up the big play.
Questions? Let's start with William on the right.
Can you give us an update on Sherrod Evans?
Sherrod hurt his knee, and he will be out for the rest of the spring. We're just going to evaluate him more and just don't know when the timetable is when he will return. But you just hate to see it happen to him because he worked so hard to get back, and it was a non-contact within broke down plant and just came off limping, and then we had a chance to just look at it.
Raise your hand if you have a question. On your right, Coach Chip.
Charlie, I guess if you could just talk a little bit more about the offense, what you liked, what you saw on the goal line, and what you're seeing from the quarterbacks as they move into this tempo.
Well, you look at his up tempo, and both of the quarterbacks are really competing. Tyrone is doing an outstanding job. The main thing is just protecting the football. We can't turn the ball over. And then you look at Gerard, he's each and every day just getting better and better, just making throws and doing a better job of just reading the coverages. Wide receiver, we're moving at a fast pace. Dorian Leonard is looking very well. And Ja'Cory Ward, Petey really had a good day today, and it's just a fun to watch him because he's been the most consistent player of all the wide receivers. Offensive line is still trying to piece it together, make sure we have the people in the right spots. But, it's all about us just making sure we get up on the ball, getting a good play, and just getting positive yardage. Don't want to see lost yardage plays.
On your left, Kirk.
You talked about separation before you started spring. What positions do you feel like maybe you're getting some separation in 1/3 of the way through this?
Well, really, no one has really just stepped out and just moved and just separated themselves from the pack. Petey Ork at the wide receiver has been, like I said, the most consistent player, but you'd like to see more guys just take that step forward. I told some of the guys on defense today, I thought that they took a step backwards. We started off with goal line offensively. We took the ball and just, we kind of smashed the defense and scored numerous times. And that was at the beginning of practice, and then they let it affect them for the rest of the practice when we weren't able to just bounce back and just handle that adversity and overcome it.
Staying on this side, Brian.
Charlie, with the hurry-up offense, are you sensing, with the up-tempo style, are you sensing guys having more fun and being able to make maybe more plays that you had hoped to see?
Oh, yeah, it is really, we're getting up on the ball, and what is happening just defensively is kind of wearing them out because, it's 6 plays, and, probably by play 4, the defense is shot. But just offensively, you look at the wide receivers, the ball is out, it's in their hands. Even with the running backs, they're doing a great job of just finding open seams. And then with some of the quarterback runs, Tyrone and Gerard is finding open seams in the defense. But it's been fun. It has been exciting to watch. But it's still about fundamentals at the end of the day. We're saying it's up-tempo, but we still have to get better. And it's still about, we're stepping with the right foot, making sure we placing, getting bodies on bodies. And then defensively, just been able to separate off blocks.
On your right, Anwar.
With Hurd and, trying to push Swoops at this point, is Swoops upped his level of play from what you're seeing? Is he playing better because he has, Gerard fighting for a position?
Well, you grow through the season. You look at last season, he started numerous games, and so you would expect from someone to get better from the end of the season to where we are right now. And Gerard's doing a great job because he is going to push him. But you expect both of them to be better. And Swoops is a lot better. If I look at him from the end of last season to where we are right now, he's a lot better football player. How much better? That's yet to be determined.
On your left, Cedric.
Charlie, with Sherrod being out, I know that opens a door for some other players. Who are some of those guys that now have a chance to get noticed?
Well, you still have Eccles who's competing in that position. Bonning is also there. Antoine Davis, Jermaine Roberts. So we still have enough guys because you still have Duke on the other side. But, we're rotating guys in so they are getting a chance to go and compete. And what's going to be great is just a competition there. And you still have some guys that haven't even hit campus yet, but it'll be some guys in where we have numbers where we can go compete at that position.
Stay over here, Mike.
Charlie, considering the way the team was last year, is it a pleasant surprise to have the offense actually ahead of the defense at this time, or how do you look at that?
I don't know, Mike, if they're really ahead of them. I know the defense had a bad day today, but it's just good to see just a whole different attitude where guys are. And like I said, if you look at this state, 98% of everyone is in a spread offense. So now we're doing something that guys have been accustomed to, where that's what they did in high school. So now when you bring them here, they kind of just pick up from where they left, and they just get better and just continue to get better. And we have to develop them as a coaching staff.
On your right, Chip.
Charlie, it looked like Peter Jenkins went out there first at middle and Freeman behind him. How's that position taking shape?
Well, the linebacker position, you go Pete went out there, so you with Pete, and then you with Santos. So we'll go Pete and Santos at the position right now, and then you have Freeman and you have Tim Cole. So you have some bodies there that where those two guys, where you look at Pete and Santos, both of them had where they started some last season. So that's why we're at the position we are right now. But they're doing a really good job of competing, because Freeman is doing a really good job. And it's just fun to watch him, because he's one of those backers that is very athletic, is explosive. A guy does a really good job of just coming out of his hips and and can tackle. Can get guys on the ground where he just explodes. He just runs through them.
Is he big enough to play the middle?
No, he's going to be one of those guys where you're going to have to keep outside, because you need a big backer like Santos, somebody big inside, Tim Cole, those type of guys inside where you need that big backer.
Anything else? William on the right.
Yeah, the tight ends position, how are Andrew Beck and Blake looking right now?
Well, both of them, Beck and Blake, we're doing it where they are both competing, and it's good because, you look at Beck, he's so athletic, and I started him off last year, linebacker, and ended up moving him to the tight end position. And then Blake is, he's one of those guys that you don't really need him. He's not good at the point of attack, but he's good in the open field where he's one of those guys we're going to have to move and just get him out and get the ball in his hands, because once he get the ball in his hands, he does a great job of making people miss and can move the football for us.
Stand right, Jeff.
Charlie, can you talk about just, from what we saw that one practice, you're still kind of in that nickel look, the 3-down look with the nickel personnel. Do you and Vance, do y'all prefer that personnel group, or is that just kind of what you got to work with now? And also, what's Malik Jefferson's role right now?
No, when you talk about the 3-down look, we play 3 and 4 downs. And so when we started off, you see 3 down, but Nashon is standing up, so we can always move to a 4 down because he's our 4th backer, and he can become your 4th rusher. So we just we'll show it, and then we're doing a good job now where you haven't had a chance to see this, where we're stemming in a 3 going to 4, 4 going to 3, but just trying to just confuse the offense. But it allows you to do it when you have an athletic guy like Nashon, and then Malik, because Malik can play that position also, where you have 2 guys like that who can also rush, but they're athletic enough where they can drop into coverage.
So as you get more familiar with personnel, the Fox becoming more like a true hybrid type guy where you really move him around and do some different things?
But he's always been that type of guy, because you look at Nashon's that type of guy. Malik is one of those guys where you can move around. And because when you show 3 down, you want those backers to move around and it just make sure it's causing disruption for the offense.
On the left, Brian.
Charlie, how's Duke doing behind Jay Gray? And do you expect a kind of a dual threat running back tandem, and who would be number 3 and 4? There?
Well, you look at it, not only Duke, but you got Deontay also forming. So you have a big back in Deontay, and then you have Duke, where he is more of a, kind of similar to Jay Gray, more of a slasher guy, can get outside on the edge and can outrun you. But, we go tackling drill, and he's one of those guys who can run behind his pads because he have ran over linebackers in the when you keep him in a contained area, he's not afraid to just lower his head and shoulders and run you over. But it's just fun to watch those 2 guys go compete with Foreman and Duke. And, with Jay Gray being there, where he can be a guy that almost serves as a coach and helps him and teaches them a lot.
In the back.
Coach, what is the attitude among your team right now, and who are some of the guys who've stepped up as early leaders?
Well, when we talk about leaders, it's so hard right now because no one really has just been placed in a position where they have to go lead. You know, they come out there and go to work every day. You talk about, you know, Duke Thomas is doing a great job. Santos is doing a great job on offense. Seth Flowers and you know, you got those guys that are trying to lead, and they're doing a good position. And, you know, they're in a position to go. Jay Gray to go lead the team. But when you talk about the attitude, it's, you know, it's kind of different now because I think that it's almost like you walk in and it's when they look at what they're doing on offense, it's kind of like they have just a totally different attitude because, you know, the skill guys especially feel like they're going to get a bunch of touches and they're going to get the ball because, you know, that's what they want anyway. They want the ball in their hands, and you can just throw them 1 or 2 balls down there happy. But just the overall attitude is beginning to change. You know, I had a meeting on yesterday, and I just told them, you know, I talked about separation again. Well, Kirk had asked me, and then I just told him that it's all about us taking a step forward, and it's about this group of guys here wanting to move this program and get it back to where it needs to get back to, and it's going to take a total team effort. And it's not going to just take 1 or 2 guys. It's not going to just take one position, but it's going to take us all, and we need us all.
On your left, Matt.
Charlie, you had a bunch of your incoming freshmen in town over the weekend. How important do you see that group being in terms of depth for this fall?
Well, it's, you know, you go through spring practice, and I tell the players that if you lose a position, that's your fault, because when those freshmen get on campus, we're going to take a hard look at them. And it's good that they were in town. They had a chance to get out to practice. You know, that someone was participating in the Texas relays, but they had a chance to get out to practice and watch us practice and just get a feel for it.
Stay on the left, Mike.
Charlie, we heard today that you might be doing some analysis for the NFL draft this year, and I'm wondering, when you look at this team, and you had to rank it as an analyst, who are your best guys on this team right now?
On the team, as my team right now?
Right now, not NFL-wise, but right now, who are your best players?
Well, you know, you always have to look at that senior class and just, you know, when you look at it, and because of what they've Jay Gray has played a lot, Duke has played a lot, but it's just so hard right now because you're still waiting for some of the other guys to take a step because they're talented. You know, you look at a DJ who's got the talent, you look at Marcus who has the talent, and then you look at that young group, because a lot of times when you get those freshmen in and then they start, you know, like a Gerard Hurd, you know, he's a very talented young man with a lot of ability. But it's just so hard to just rank them where, you know, if I had to go 1 through, you know, 25, it'd be hard for me to do that right now.
Do you like the talent level on this team as a whole?
Well, you always want more. I mean, as anything else, you want more. But, you know, it's what it is right now. We just got to work with what we have. And that's why you recruit each and every year, where you can make it better and make your team better.
Stay on this side with Adam.
The guy said on day one, even though the spread offense, the up-tempo, was something they were familiar with, it's still new because it hasn't been done around here. Have you seen steady improvement, and kind of what do you expect in terms of them picking it up? And then just the second one, you mentioned Sherrod. Any other injuries that we need to know about?
No, Sherrod is just the main one right now with the injury. But with the offense, it's what you try to look for is, you know, when we first installed it, we tried to make it where we didn't give them a lot, but each day we try to add something, just kind of add a little more each and every day. But, you know, just watching them just move around, you know, they look good moving around. Now we just need to add a little more and just see how much they can handle. But you don't need much now, because when you think about it, everything is formation based, and what you try to do is get leverage on defense, which they try to do all the time, and just outflank people. And it's about just counting people and seeing how many people in the box. If, you know, they're showing 5, what do you do with the ball? They're showing 6 in the box, but it's just about, and it's, you know, it sounds simple, but you still have to execute.
Full install by the spring game.
I don't know if we'd be fully installed by the spring game. You know, I think we'll give a lot, but I don't know if we'd be fully installed.
On your right, Chip.
Charlie, Armani Foreman seems like a talented guy, but kind of a quirky personality who might drift to the back of the line in the drills. How do you speed up a guy's maturity, I guess, in that sense?
Yeah, the thing about Armani, and he's very talented, and you're right. And the thing that it's all about with him is he's been injured. and he's fighting through that injury bug, where he'll come back and then all of a sudden he'll pull a hamstring but it's just working through those, and it's just your maturity level and just how quickly he can mature, and he needs to grow up, and had a chance to play some last season. But it's all about that with a young guy. What you want to make sure is that they just continue to develop and continue to move forward. And sometimes it takes some guys longer than it takes others. But he's getting there, because he does everything we ask him to do. But it's just a matter of us just making sure that you stay positive with him and help him move forward.
On your left, Ryan.
Charlie, it looked like Tyrone had progressed physically. Was there a plan that Pat had for him going into the offseason, and are you happy with his results?
Yeah, I don't know where he is just size-wise, but look like he's trimmed down a little, but what is probably about 250, 255 maybe, but he still hasn't lost his speed, and he's one of those. He's a big quarterback, and he looks good standing back there.
Stay over here, Kirk.
You mentioned DJ and Marcus, but you said Petey Warwick's your most consistent receiver. Does that disappoint you a little bit that one of these two older players is not more consistent?
Well, where you like to see happen is you like to see both of those talented guys step up, because they have their talent. And another guy who's really working is Dorian Leonard. And the thing about, Dorian's one of those guys that comes out there every day with a smile on his face, and he just works and has a lot of energy, talks, and don't mind talking, but he talks all the time. But, but he's like one of those guys, he never gets tired. But but you look at Marcus, who has totally a different, just a different personality, and even with DJ has a different personality. Whereas Dorian is one of those outgoing, fun guys, always upbeat. And then those two guys, you almost have to say, "Let's go, let me pick it up, show me something, give me something."
Are you
But
satisfied with where they are right now?
yeah, but I am. But the reason why I said that about Petey is just because he's just been so consistent. I mean, he catches a ball today and he makes about 3 or 4 guys miss on defense and takes it in for a touchdown. And if they tackle him, it's a 4th down, but then he makes a miss and he gets the 1st down and goes in and scores. But, you're looking for guys like that to just go make plays and guys to step up.
On your right, Anwar.
Coach, are there any guys on the defensive line who are fighting for positions that have kind of impressed you or caught your attention so far?
Well, you look at just defensive line-wise, Ridgeway's doing a great job. Boyette's working. The guy is really, Bryce Cottrell is really taking a step up. And Shiro is, with the defensive line, is probably the most surprising right now. And just how hard he's working and what he's doing. Doing everything we ask him to do. And then Puna Ford, he's one of those guys that is kind of so quiet. He doesn't ever say nothing, but every time you look up, he's making a play. But it's just not been one guy to really step out, but all of them have just been working together as a group and just making plays.
In the back, Anthony.
Coach, how excited are you to have your good friend Coach Holtz come visit you this weekend? And I know he's proud of you, and how happy are you to see him? And what message will you hope he brings to the coaches and perhaps your team?
I'm so happy that Coach he's coming to speak at our clinic, and you're right. I went to work for him in 1995 at Notre Dame, and he's always been there, just a mentor for me. And it's just going to be exciting just because he's going to talk to not only to the coaches that are going to attend the clinic, he also is going to talk to our coaching staff and our football team. And he just said he had a message for him. He didn't say exactly what it was, but just knowing him, I've heard him speak numerous times, and you can never get tired of hearing what he has to say.
Last one on the right, Chip.
Along those lines, Charlie, he's known for, before games when y'all be on the road at Notre Dame, having all the guys lie down in a ballroom with the lights out and visualize making plays. What did you think of that at the time as an assistant, and do you take some of that with you?
No, I tell you what, Chip, we did it at Notre Dame, and I think when we went to South Carolina, we kind of stopped doing it because guys just Notre Dame, at that time, we did it early, and guys kind of bought into it. And then, when you get to later on in his career, then in South Carolina, he just quit doing it because he just more or less, he just got up and talked instead of making them visualize, making a play. You lay down, close your eyes, it'd be a dark room, and just talked about just making a play and who you are, and are you ready for this big game. But when we got there, we just stopped doing it. So he just I think that he got to where he just ran his course.
Thanks, gang.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.